After my son died, I set up an organisation in Sheffield called IBK Initiatives. IBK stands for Inspired by Kim. Personalisation is what we're all about. It's all I ever wanted for my son. I wanted him to have a good life. I wanted him to be happy. I wanted us to live just a family life, to belong in our community.
And we want the best for our kids, like everybody does. You want the best for your family. You want it to be a happy, loving home. You want it to be an environment where your children flourish and thrive, and their dreams come true, and what their wishes are. You want to, as a parent, to be able to fulfil that, and you'll do anything for that. And I have done, and I always will.
What's different about working as a PA as opposed to a support worker is that I've had so many opportunities to bring who I am to my job, which is very rewarding, and also encourages me to work harder because I'm getting so much out of the job.
If a PA can be bothered with me, it has a massive impact on my future.
So, what we're going to be talking about this morning is genuine personalisation. And by that I mean you'll be hearing some stories today of genuine personalisation, where people's lives are changed, and they're changed for the better, and they're changed in ways that people themselves want them to change. So they're based, all these things that we've got up here, voice, the voice of the young person, the voice of the family. Personalisation cannot happen if we don't prioritise that, because otherwise it's not personal, is it? It's not personalised.
He just wasn't happy, and for years he was saying to the managers, I'm not happy, I don't like it. He was saying to social workers, why can I not speak up at panel? Why can I not go and represent myself? I want to tell them what it's like for me, and this is not right for me. I've got no one to speak to. I've got no one to talk to. I don't want to sit there in their timetable. I don't want to be put to bed at 8 o'clock the same as the other kids. I don't want to be fed around the table like they're fed. I don't want to, have that. That's not right for me.
I'm not invincible. I know what I want, and I will get what I want.
We've got to have vision. We've got to have high aspirations. I'm so lucky with the work I do, with the people I meet. I get to meet wonderful people like Hussein and his mum Safina, who have very positive stories. I also get to meet families who are struggling, who have terrible, heartbreaking stories. So we can't go easy on this. This work is so important. This work is literally life-saving. We want from organisations, we desperately need simple systems. We need simplicity above anything else, because it's so confusing for families otherwise, and it makes your lives really difficult when things are complicated. So we need simplicity.
And a lot of the challenges came from the system as we speak. By the system I mean social services, healthcare, education. For me that is the system. That is what is out there for us to access in times of need or necessity. And unfortunately, very, very, very quickly I realised that it was going to be a fighting battle.
For families, the word that holds all this together is love. For organisations, we don't talk about love, do we? We talk about systems, we talk about putting things in place, we talk about processes, we talk about outcomes. But the currency for families is love.
The system did not meet our needs. It wasn't there for us in the way we wanted it to be. When it's good, it works really, really well. So, this is our personal story, but when it was good, it worked well, and when it wasn't, it didn't.
One of the things I was passionate about when my son was alive, and I'm passionate about now, is that we as human beings are all of equal value. We are human beings trying to do our best. Sometimes our behaviour can make us less worthy, but intrinsically we are all of equal value.
One of the things that I hate is the term special need. The word itself, special, elevates something above everything else. It makes it the focus. And the young people that I've worked with, be it with physical disabilities or with autism or with Asperger's or any of those types of things, if you take away the idea that those needs are special, they become additional. And that's the important point that I want to make as a PA, is that I approach them as additional needs. They're things that we need to be aware of, they're things that we need to deal with, but beneath that, there are the same needs that everybody else has. They are people.
The principles of fairness and kindness, you can't go wrong with them, but they're sadly lacking. We live in a world that is unfair a lot of the time, that discriminates, that doesn't pay attention to disabled children and their families. That is not fair. Personalisation is an opportunity to try and redress that balance of unfairness and to give us a more level playing field.
I really fought for his rights, and I've really made sure that he knows what his rights are. And I want him to go out there and fight for his life, fight for his happiness, and for his well-being. And personalisation lets us do that.
When you have a disabled child, you have to focus on that child. And it's so easy for brothers and sisters to get forgotten. But when we're thinking about personalisation, local offers, brothers and sisters are of equal value to the disabled child in the family.
Our whole basis of the way we survive in our household is about keeping Hussein happy. It is about keeping Hashim happy. It's about allowing us to grow as a family and to function day to day. And day to day functioning means having PAs come in and look after Hussein.
It's not about me, it's about them as well. It's about my brother, my cousin, my whole family. You're not only looking after me, you're looking after them as well.
One of my pet hates is how disabled young people have been denied having a purposeful life. And that's particularly true for young people with learning difficulties. It's an endless, we've moved from the kind of the thinking around day centres, but now it's about leisure, it's about going bowling all the time, it's about going swimming all the time. That doesn't make for a purposeful life. It's great to have those things that you can do when you want to do them, but if those were the main things in my life, I would not be feeling a sense of satisfaction, a sense of achievement. So it's looking for purpose, and personalisation gives us that opportunity.
He's going to college now. He's doing IT, he wants to do game design, he wants to do graphic design, he wants to do programming. He's doing work experience with IBK. Wayne is his PA there, and Wayne does his overnight respite as well.
Hussein, as you've heard, himself wants to be a video game designer, he wants to get into graphic design, he wants to work in technology. These are all areas that I've got experience on, so we're very much a perfect match in those regards. So I can help him with those, but he's also helping me with what I want to achieve in my future, which is going into teaching and taking those things further and helping people to realise their dreams that I was able to realise as a young adult, as I entered the games industry.
This is the moment in Wakefield to be working together to create opportunities. None of us can do this on our own. We need each other to do this. We need to we need to build the right foundations, and then we need to build up from those foundations. This is the nuts and bolts stuff. We get many parents coming to us saying they're with national organisations that deliver payroll and budget management, and they say that can work well to a certain extent, but they love having that local contact. Helping young people and families take steps towards living independently. Weekends away are a fantastic way to do that. Many young people have never spent a night away from home, so the thought of living independently is just hugely scary for everyone. How can we do that? Most teenagers get a chance to stay over with their friends. For disabled young people, it's slightly different. So we need to be looking for opportunities for that.
And he goes out with cousins now and his siblings, and he's a bit more independent. They start wanting to, dress themselves and go shopping on their own and all that kind of thing. And I'm giving him sort of, he's got his own bank account now, and he communicates with the taxi pickup guy when they're at respite. He tells him when to pick him up. I used to do all of that. He does that now. So we're taking small, safe steps towards independence, towards Husnain doing the things he wants to do. He wants to carry on college, he wants to go to university, he wants to set up his own business, you know, and we're already thinking about those things, and we're already kind of setting things in place which will allow us to make those changes when the time is right. But it's in a safe environment, and it's different from what has been provided before. It's just doing things a bit differently. And why shouldn't he? He's got every right.
Looking for opportunities for young people to make a contribution, and it's delivering workshops and training where we bring together family members, disabled young people, brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, grandparents and PAs to build a community, because this community is our future. This is the hope we have for giving young people purposeful, meaningful lives.
People just assume that disabled people are useless, can't do anything, can't be anything what they want to be. Everyone has a disability. Everyone. It might not be physical, it might not be mental, but everyone has a disability when you look at it.
The elephant in the room with all this talk is power. Systems, organisations have much more power than disabled children, young people and their families. We have to learn to exercise our power really well. As families, we do have power.
And all that hard work, there's still a lot of hard work, don't get me wrong. The amount of paperwork I do on phone calls and emails while he's out is unbelievable. And now he's happy. I know he's happy, he's safe, he's well looked after. And for us, I can now, in peace, you know, enjoy the time that I have with my son, with my husband, with family, with friends, or just sleeping, catching up on sleep, but knowing that he's happy as well. And he's doing things that add to his life, his quality of life. You know, he's not just there for the sake of it. He's not just there just because that's all there is. And that's the difference. And we weren't happy with that. And that's just one example of how personalisation has worked for us. Like I said, the system's fantastic when it works. But every child's different, every family's different, every need is different, and things have to change.
It can still be hard, and this sounds awful, but I know it's true. It can still be hard for some people to realise that we love our disabled children.